Blah, 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 blah. Hello and welcome to my third match of Season 64 here against Yurikamome, who we just watched play last night. So they've probably been awake since they played and we recorded the video. But I took a nap, and by a nap I mean I slept through the night. So we'll see one person at the end of their day, one at the start. So plenty of traditional village draw. And there is probably enough types here to make, village green especially, to make courtier look quite good. There's not a whole lot to slow the opponent down besides rabble, but rabble can be gotten around fairly easily with Way of the Turtle to some degree. And to some degree Ranger Village Green. Way of the Turtle are sort of defensive against that. Potentially map maker as well. You have voyages on the other Odysseys waiting below here that could see some play. It should be pretty easy to get some value out of a voyage turn. Nothing else, Way of the Turtle something. So probably engineer old map is the opening. Getting to 5 is a bit of a pain. Maybe you can get some help from a boon. That's the issue with the engineer old map opening, I guess. You could double engineer. I'm not sure. I think tracker is probably, especially this hand where we don't have anything else to do. I think tracker probably gives you enough value to take one as a stop card here. Plus action shouldn't be a big issue, I would hope, but we'll see. Between old map, village green, blessed village, shouldn't be too bad. I don't know why it took that long to decide to play old map or not. I guess you could be thinking about turtling it, I suppose. Their shuffle a bit nicer, where they play old map into. They probably can afford a 3. I guess they rotated the most viable 3, but you could buy silver here and it'd be okay. Storeroom, okay. Yeah, I can see that logic. Obviously the Storm Village Green synergy is real. Kind of thinking I keep the engineer though. It's pretty nice on a voyage turn. I guess the village green doesn't count against the old map. Not the old map, against the voyage count. We're just playing, they're just at one card played from hand. And they may get some more village greens to go with it. This is also a nice sunken treasure board because it's pretty easy to not have one of the draw cards in play, especially at the start. You've got at least 5-ish probably decent targets that you have a good shot at hitting. So this was unfortunately a super good turn for Eureka, but that is the way it goes sometimes. I guess Wave the Turtle also doesn't count against Voyage, which is kind of cute. If we can get to the silver, we can get a rabble play in or something. There is still one more estate here. Also the engineer. Do I want another engineer into this shuffle? I mean, obviously the engineers can be like two fours, though delayed, of course. Well, this is a little unfortunate. We will get Field's Gift. We did not get Field's Gift. Spoiler alert. We could have fished for a village green, I suppose, but that was going to be real tough. They're going to activate like 2 village greens off this. And I'm going to scream. probably should be taking some draw pretty soon. The storeroom popping up where it did was super unfortunate, but not. I guess the way it popped up where we didn't have a village was a little unlucky, but not that weird. Okay. So this, they actually didn't draw super well for. Wonder if they'll pick up map maker or what. We may get to 3 pile despite being across quite a few piles here. Wonder if I should have bargained a rabble on top somewhere. I don't know. I potentially should have gotten the gold. It's a little bit of a hard sell though. At this stage. It's not terrible. Really puzzling over these gains. I need some village greens for sure. So they're hoping for village green activation here and have pretty good shot at it, but didn't hit it actually. So they may get 1 copper plate, I guess, pay off 1 debt. I definitely need to get in on some of the village greening. They're better than the Blessed Villages in deck for sure, by quite a bit. I've just been hoping for some nice boons, not really finding them. To be fair, there weren't like a bunch of outs for some of the things I've been going for. If I can get 3 or 4 of the village greens, I can still do some amount of the trickery. Do we want the gold? We're not paying for one of them, which is kind of nice. Shoot. The gold gain there is probably stupid. I don't have draw. Why don't I have any draw at all? Neither of us really have draw. They have a map maker. I don't have a map maker. I have a gold for some reason. They're probably durationing this. I don't know if they'll put in rabble. They're gonna buy a draw card almost certainly. It could even just be a storeroom, another storeroom, to be honest. Perhaps I should have turtled the Blessed Village instead of the Will-O-Wisp. It probably is way better, actually. I essentially wasted an action, right? I thought my voyage was down here. They did just go for a storeroom, which is not reasonable. So then they're gonna map maker or whatever. I hope they see 4 village greens with map maker. Distant Shore map maker can be cute. I was a little surprised they drew with that one, but I wonder if they'll go for a ranger. not super important. They're gonna beat me. They're going to beat me badly. The courtier top deck was a little strange. I mean, I guess there's reasonable things to do with your courtier on a voyage turn, but... guess if nothing else, you can turtle it. So like here, you're not activating... but I guess it's fine. Well... okay. Guess this is all right. Well, actually, maybe they'll let me. I won't ask. I'm gonna lose anyway. I should really keep turtling the blessed. And get the village green back into deck. So I don't know. This is not ideal at all. I played one from hand right now. We did get to the distant lands, which is nice. Or sunken treasure, whatever, to buy distant to gain distant shore. This is 2. See, I didn't find the storeroom, which is a pain. Yeah, so really this blessed village should still be hanging out. I messed that up for sure. One, two. I played 2. It would be nice to be able to play the oh, and they're activating map maker. Yeah, let's just resign. This is super over. Well played by them. We didn't have quite the same first reshuffle to have the same options there, but I think in general they played it quite a bit better than me. What does League of Shopkeepers do? Who knows? King's Court. The draw is a little weak. Draw and payload are not super crazy here, but everything does exist. It's not a super great. I guess the Overlord for trading post is kind of nice. Otherwise, you're kind of looking at a cargo ship. Maybe double cargo ship even. The Conjurer is alright. Or sea charts. That's certainly... Conjurer is pretty good here, actually. I'm going to try the Overlord. 5-2 would be pretty nice, I think. Good trading post Overlord draw here will be a big deal, though. I don't think you're required to go this direction by any stretch of the imagination. It's also kind of an option if they reveal the Conjurers, you can play Overlord as Conjurer and pick up a Conjurer and then get into that way. But you're basically competing with like student cargo ship silver, double cargo ship, sea chart cargo ship on the opening anyway. The risk of skipping student is just lack of control of the Conjurers, I guess. I don't think the rest of it is super important. I don't think control of the sorcerer matters a whole lot. We have spent this time to do the same things ultimately. We get a good Overlord. They get a less good Overlord. Slightly. I mean, two estates versus two versus copper estates, not nothing. For sure. Now the question is, do we want the student? This is a bit wild. What we're about to do here. Is it correct? I have no idea. Do we want CSM or do we just want Overlord? I don't know if I care one way or the other where it is at this point. So C-chart gives us a shot at drawing. We don't need... Well, okay, so... Do you see... I mean, it depends a little bit on if... So now we know we're not drawing cargo ships, so it still makes sense to do C-charts. We may hit Overlord. Then it's like an acting troupe. Guess it could be merchant camp would let us do a little bit more there, but I really don't want to go back into debt for this shuffle. I want to have some shot at buying King's Court. There's going to be something to getting like one merchant camp at some point probably, but I guess the other thing would have been to... Well, whatever, it's done now. Okay. So we can king... We could do a little trashing. We do have enough to play all of this. It'll cost us a bit, but we can play it all. There are a lot of C charts in there. So we could draw more. We could go cargo ship, conjure, then place activated city. Which we probably ought, well, I don't know. Or we can get a King's Court set aside. Or we can do some trashing. Or we can just take villager, not do trashing. those are the options. If we get some C chart hits, we'll be in a good shape. If we don't, then it's not as exciting. The King's Court is in there. All right, let's do this. This was definitely pretty wildly different as far as our options here. They may have trashed a little bit more than me. So if we can, we'd like to King's Court this city. I don't actually know whether there's stuff to put into the deck that's useful. Like conjuring before the shuffle. I don't know if there's a whole lot that we care to do that for. Maybe a candlestick maker. It is going to cost us a villager, which is probably not a huge deal. We're going to see the other world. No, we didn't see that. Okay. So now there's some advantage here to getting the Overlord in play. Here the conjurers, like I said, start to look a little worse. But cargo ship at least is pretty good. How much money are we gonna have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. $12 would be good. We could trash this student. One, 2, 3, 4, 9. 12 would be really good. And of course you can get acting troops just because they disappear, which is nice. I don't know how many of these C charts to like check for to check for like trying to get king going. It's probably in your favor to play a couple of them just to see if it's there. Yeah, because king is, you know, the power. So I don't know, do we have a pile out? We could get probably not. We don't need to really push it anyway. They're capped at 3 mid-turn gains. And I can go higher, so they're not activating city unless I lower the cargo ships to 3. I guess there's some incentive to, or maybe some incentive to playing sorcerer at least once. This is gonna trigger a shuffle. I don't think that matters. Okay. One of these is a acting troop. Guess. Okay. So they don't have any cities. They have 1 overlord. So if they empty those, we can count this. 1, 2, 3, they do those. That gives it 4 buys, 7 buys. I better not risk it. The gains here aren't super appealing. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. whatever 7 plus 8 is. 15. We could get a couple silvers and go king, king, overlord. I guess we can just do city. Makes as much sense as anything. Since we actually have the 5. There's a lot of silvers in hand. 4 of the 6 silvers right there. They're not even kinging. That's it for their overlords. They don't have cities. They can play student some. Okay, this makes the what I'm going for quite a bit easier. Lowering it to this makes this a lot easier. So I don't think that was right, but whatever. It was fully lost. Okay. You can do some menagerie things here, I suppose. The trashing is on the weaker side, though. So I'm not sure. The replace, I mean, we may just end up messy replace times. Because you can only really go, I guess if you don't want to give out curses, you can go copper tip, poorhouse to menagerie or something. But we do have crypt, which potentially can do a little work. Your extra gains are just replace grave robber. Tools, extra VP gains replace Grave Armor. Tools can do some stuff. One copy of Tools looks reasonable. The opening is a little awful, actually. Because I mean, you probably just go Silver Menagerie. You can do double Silver also. It's kind of tough. Or I guess Silver Exploration probably is the play. You'd be happier with, actually, no, it wouldn't matter. We'll see. The way they've done this is weird. Maybe they're just gonna silver. I guess if you're like, depending on how it goes, you may be able to do a relatively big King's Cash turn just off Menagerie draw. Like if you play with 2 King's Caches and one of them's deep, you could maybe draw most of the deck, or one of them's cryptid, something. Well, that doesn't help it, but anyway, you could maybe get to it. They must have just had exactly 2. You could maybe get to a point where it makes sense. Do we want Tools yet? Do we want Menagerie yet? Throne is a little aggressive here. Okay. These are not my favorite draws of all time. It's really kind of hard to get the Seaway or get the crypt, get a nice crypt turn without just being lucky. Maybe mid-turn you can do it at some point. My replace misses. Their reshuffle a little nicer than mine, maybe. I don't know, they missed. They didn't get a buy at one point, but this is kind of weird. And they're not drawing super well on the replaces, I suppose. I guess you have to have 2 coppers. Otherwise, if it's... I guess it's got to be pure copper in the rest of this. I would have still been probably playing the Menagerie, but whatever. Like here, this is I'm going to use the Villager. To draw. Just play it this way. I think we are going to end up with just like a boatload of crud. Like we're just going to pile. I don't really see how it can't go that way. Whether this Menagerie draws copper is going to be really huge on this particular turn for me. Estate, or I guess Throne even. Throne, Estate, Replace would all be nice. It's probably a little better. Let me think. Okay. I would like to try and get to the replace, so I'm going to play it like that, but Royal Carriage is not so terrible. This would be the turn where if you could have gotten the replace, there's hands there where you draw the replace a silver and you can set aside like 4 coppers or something, but we didn't exactly have the hand for it. I mean, maybe earlier. Trying to think if we just want a royal carriage or if we want to replace. Or even just a throne room. Even just like a Seawade throne room. They probably have menagerie. Weird hand. I'm gonna be all about giving the curses. For sure. The poor houses versus giving curses seems so bad to me. Because you can only turn those into 3s. You can't turn them into throne rooms. A lot of times you don't really want them on top of your deck anyway. So, I won't lie, I think it's terrible, but I guess you get enough to buy province, it's not as terrible, but let me see. There's also some grave robber stuff you could maybe do. Guess you want this down first. Let me think. Okay, so what if we go 1, 2, okay. I'm trying to think here. Can we pile out? Probably not. It would be fine points-wise if we could give out the curses and everything. We don't really have a way to do it, though. What's the play order here? It would be nice if we had one of the that didn't. We need we need another replace. We need bad, actually. Rather than these This is only $1. It gets us kind of close to province, but we don't really have a way to move further. Unfortunately. Da, 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 da. Okay. So now we can get to province. No. No, we cannot. Two, 1, 2. No, we can if we do this. This gives 2, 2. Ooh. That's ugly. They have a lot of coffers. I don't know. Is the last card a replace or something? Just another menagerie? Not sure. I'm not sure there was any hand where this draws. If there's not, I mean, if it's a menagerie, then we could have drawn the bottom deck the curse, but drawing one of these earlier in the turn would have been huge for the replaces to get the 3-point swing, and then also just not to have this hand. Though then maybe this hand is like copper, you know. There go those. I don't know if they're gonna have enough to, like, nobody ever managed Seaway. I took Royal Carriage over what could have been a Seaway throne room, which is probably incorrect. There's like a real shot that, I mean, I certainly would have had more options for trying to find pile outs on my turn, last turn, if I had done that. I don't know if they have enough for Duchy. Maybe they have enough for Duchy and that's it. I think you probably take it. It's just a little scary if you don't. I really should know what the last card is, but I don't. It was an estate. So that's not good. Don't really have, I guess I just take the exploration and see what we, well, okay. This doesn't win or anything. It does by province. Scores. I guess you probably top deck a poorhouse. I assume they're just gonna win. Yeah. They have a lot of money. Unfortunately, I didn't have a way to score it all on my turn. If I could have scored even a point, then this maneuver is not available. But didn't happen. So it's actually really kind of a fun kingdom. This is a no village thing, which are always, it's always a little interesting. I don't know what you take. I mean, you can just play mask money. I guess the other thing you can try to do is like heavy baker. This probably plays a little nicer with the Odysseys. And you can probably play like, I don't know, you still have to get Masquerade, so I don't know. I almost think you just do mask money. I think you can take a baker at some point. I'm not going to spend a coffer for it. I just don't. Unless I'm missing something. I think you can probably chain some action stuff if you want to try that. And I don't know that it's necessarily better than the other things you might be doing. If you're lucky, it's probably better. If you're less lucky, probably a little worse. I guess you can do old map tunnel for gold gaining. That's not terrible. It's actually probably pretty terrible. If they get militia, you could move into that direction. I don't hate old map with the Masquerade period, to be honest. That's not so bad of things to combine in the opening anyway. Certainly the mask deck wouldn't mind having a way to make golds rather than having to buy them. But the pairing is not, I mean, if you have enough old maps, then it's not, it goes for Pilgrim. That's really quite weird to me. But, no, so be it. I'm actually super confused about that, but it doesn't seem worth a coffer at all. Guess we'll wait. Well, can wait on the other one. Okay, so we whiff there on the Finding Masquerade, which is unfortunate, but so be it. I actually am super, super confused by the Pilgrim buy. I don't know if there's anything that's going to fix it in my head. You could rotate up to like Maybe we get one of these anyway. I don't know. They already bought a voyage. Well, whatever. I remain completely perplexed. Do I want more of these? They seem kind of good for me. I don't know. We didn't find the this pilgrim. This pilgrim was insane. What do we want to pass? Guess we pass an old map. We could have passed a gold. This is a little sad. But the voyage is still in here, which is nice. Now they're going for these. I don't know. We can just leave these. Maybe should have passed the tunnel. This isn't gonna 3-pile. We're gonna have to go through the provinces. They got the double. That's pretty nice. Probably they province here. I'm going to make fun of the pilgrim and then it's going to be a hero. Okay, so not a super heroic pilgrim there. Did have to use a coffer. I'm surprised they even managed to play it like this. To be honest. So we can make a bunch of stuff miss. Maybe save a coffer. Maybe save a coffer. Maybe give them an awkward. It also makes the distant shores miss, which is kind of a bummer. That was terrible. That didn't work at all. They would need... Maybe we save the coffer for now. I'm trying to think. There's a point where they can get Duchy Province on voyage turn, and then we need to watch it. But that's just 9, so for now, we can save the coffers. And then it does open up potential 3-pile stuff. Later on. This is gonna be... No, it's fine. Okay. This is where it starts to look scary. But the voyage is there, so it's maybe quite some time before the voyage is relevant. I think you buy tunnel there actually, but let me check. This is getting close to half EP. We almost did all of them. I actually thought I was way more ahead than it kind of ended up being, but there were a few weird... I mean, the decks were not controlled, so that was always going to be a... Things weren't going to play out normal. But I think I had some unfortunate... there are quite a lot of nice fives. Not really sure what I'd take. Maybe vampire. Probably vampire. Frigate. I mean, you can torture or spam them. Frigate can be a little bit annoying to keep doing that, but you can do it. There's some ways to deal with everything here at some level. Church is sort of the best defense against the torture spam, because bat isn't great. I guess if they're frigating and torturing you, then bat isn't super good. Because it's kind of hard to have this stuff in hand, but you know, that all takes a while. Everything takes a while. I don't know that it's not clear to me that vampire is the play at all, just because butcher is also going to be really good acceleration towards building the deck you want. And the vampire has some awkwardness at certain points. But you can, of course, go like butcher church or butcher estate church, and so I assume they double church, yeah. This next hand can buy Academy if I don't take another thing. It's kind of nice to get it before the next shuffle. Of course, this isn't the best. Best ever draw. By which I mean, well, it's okay. The church, as long as the church isn't bond decked, I guess I should say, it's probably okay. This actually sort of sucks. I don't know. Church's bottom deck. I mean, it got a little help there, so you know, what can you do? They're clean. Vampire War doesn't do anything really. Now they have a frigate. They have cleanliness issues. Well, the butcher stuff has been terrible. They're not frigated here, so I don't know why they're not just taking. You don't have to pick. This is probably like an N. It would be helpful if we had a coffer, but we don't. Probably shouldn't have top decked the butcher that one turn. But I didn't, right? I used it. I don't know. This sucks because they get to do the bat. I guess the other frigate is in the bottom here, which helps a little bit. Oh, I had to use a coffer. Okay, whatever. The torture is probably not a huge deal. But maybe there'll be some awkwardness. This is gonna be like N plus butcher probably. Yeah. It was maybe not that unfortunate, but there's like 2 churches, butcher and torture, in these 4 cards. So yeah, actually it was pretty unfortunate of a draw. But that's the way it goes. If we butcher torture or butcher church and then play torture, there's also the old tormentor. Yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable. You can play out of hand. You can gain imps. I still have a bit of a thinness issue. Miserable, okay. We can deal with it. Probably. You have to figure out ways to make some money in your action phase by, I mean, you basically have to play draw to X, only the draw to whatever is kind of weak. Because you're limited to 4. But that's essentially what you have to play. And that, I mean, Yurika's nice thing is that they're angling for 3 piles. Not 3 piles, but they have the VP, so that certainly does some nice things. We could play in first. We could have done that from the beginning. I guess we want to see more. We want to have a better shot at trying to find the frigate in particular. So that's going to be a problem here for sure. So we're only seeing 2/3 of this. No, I mean, I can see why what the libraries are doing. Potentially. Yeah, this is actually just not gonna work out. Basically. We did find the frigate. I think we have to buy a 5 here. Yeah, but then this was always the risk that you just don't find anything. So next turn they're frigate free. I'm still not making progress on trashing. It's hard. It's really hard. The inn or the library is nicer for it a little bit. I'm gonna get an imp. That's I'm not gonna get an imp. Never, not gaining an imp. Is the vampire still around? Because you play this, and then you can play your tormentor or whatever, and then play the thing again. Envious is great. Love Envious. I have too many coppers. I just have way too many coppers. Part of that was the opening, though. The double church, of course, is way better for that. And then my butcher was... I still have an estate. That's crazy. It was just bad times. Yeah, I guess again, I think you just want ends and I guess some payload. Maybe you just go for playing multiple tormentors. You can get another butcher. You basically just need this. It's really kind of cruddy, but you have to run around and do this stuff. I mean, you could also try and move into provinces more quickly and mill them and whatever. The torture would actually be really annoying for me to deal with because I'm not thin, and so my ability to like get stuff in and church it is way worse. All right, that's really cool. Diluted. I don't think diluted's really gonna matter. Ammo. They're unfrigated, so they even, I don't think they have anything left to really trash, but if they did, their bat would certainly be able to do it here. They just get a second frigate because it's decent money if you're trying to get to 8. And it's fine to kind of shore up your ability to play one of them each turn. There goes the inn. That's really cool. Love that. There's 2 butchers, another frigate. Them being able to just play all this willy-nilly is super painful. Brings me great pain. They did still have a copper. Every single one of these torture plays is going to be like 5 minutes. Well, that was the nicest thing that's happened to me in a while. As far as this game's concerned, I gotta go down to 3. I don't want to go down to 3. Actually, it's not that bad. They'd probably mill them. I don't know. I mean, they may have a better butcher hit to make, but milling would not be crazy. Excuse me. We do need more ends, I suppose, at any point. More ends are always useful. And they get to do the old. So they just chose not to play Butcher at all. Which is kind of interesting. Well, we're going nowhere again. That's fine. We already knew that. Greed. Greed is good, they say. Alright, what happens when I play 4 tortures a turn? Does that change the calculus at all? Probably not. Issue then is going to be like 3 piling. But for Eureka, they can mill through the provinces so easily. Like your 4 cards here can be Butcher Province, Bat Curse, for instance. And you just, you're removing the issues while you add another vampire. You can mill. You still buy province. But they go for Tormentor. That seems... Oh, they're doing 2 trashes. Yeah. That makes sense. At least in my mind it does. This is my only path. I don't think it works. Like, I think they just have the defense to not have it matter. But this is still like my only way into anything. We also just burned that. I probably played that order wrong to just not lose not lose the villagers. Almost certainly I played that wrong. The other thing is they kind of slow drip in the curses. As long as that's at a manageable rate, then it doesn't matter. And just the milling, the province milling power is going to be insane. Village issue. Everybody has village issue, but The locust on the end, that was a bummer. Bummed me out. I'm still so surprised none of the butchers are being milled. Like, this is one card, they're not playing it right, so why is it not? Oh, it's vampire. Okay. It's still weird to me. Listen, I have to do it this way. It's just the way it has to be done. Wait, this doesn't work. I should just resign. There's no reason to be playing this out, but... What is fear if you have at least 5? We had 5. I can buy a province just for the fun of it. Just for the sheer joy. You know, the deck is actually getting a little fat, and these libraries are still in the opening hand a lot. I don't think it was churched. I know it wasn't churched. Obviously, once you get the one library, then you can go find the other one, but... There we go. There, now we have the milling. Alright. I'll go. I could have resigned a while ago, but... Last game. Bit of a vacuum. Guess you can blockade silvers. An open lookout jack. Will he get barge later? Road network's not unreasonable at some point. Displace could be thing. You can blockade silvers. It's a real potential thing to mess with their jacks. Whether it's better than getting a jack yourself, I don't know. We're gonna end up with a couple of money-ish looking things. If we have copper on top, we'll probably leave it. What it's gonna be is it's gonna be both lookouts in a row. So I'm gonna discard one and draw the other one. So my draw is okay. I mean, this part is, obviously what you want is to have them both on turn 3, but this way, or even jack turn 3 into the lookout play turn 4 is a little nicer than this. But this is still good. You get a second jack. I think you just keep this. Second jack is a bit of a puzzler to me. Maybe I'm getting one. I mean, at this point, I guess it's a bit of a puzzler to me. But it's certainly not crazy. Another lookout. It's hard to think what you take before it, possibly the blockade. But so I should be like a little bit ahead, but we're gonna eventually be buying provinces, and it's just gonna be who hits 8 and who doesn't. Some of these lookouts may get dicey. Six would have been kind of nice there. I don't know if this place or the grove, not the grove, the barge, I don't know if they pan out super well yet. Just because of the number of jacks. Now we aren't, just the terminal space is a little, now you could like displace jack into gold and that would be okay. This lookout could be, because it's like, there's not a huge number of coppers in there. But I guess like worst comes to, I mean, you may just hit the other lookout or you may hit this. I think here you trash a jack. And I guess you take this one just because you probably have this going in here. And keep this. Buy gold. This lookout is probably a little scary. We could go displace lookout to barge now or something. Or another displace. Can play it, of course, as well. Little risky. There's not like a, there's like a decent number of coppers in here. We still have both lookouts. Maybe we go displace. I don't think you really get super good control here ever. Okay, I think there is a copper, so we will play the lookout. It's like jack, copper, something like that. Did I get a second displace? What did I get? Okay. Well, this super sucks, actually. Let's play this. That's nearly the worst possible outcome. Pawn is okay. Pawn is okay. So it's not, I mean, having the road network is nice. Okay. We're not quite to... I wonder if you double duchy. Well, that's a little bit... With the road network, that's a little bit scary. So I don't have a jack anymore, I don't think. They're gonna duchy. That's the thing here, is the duchies are like a bit of a liability. I wish I was deck tracking. Man. When did I shuffle? Shuffle draws copper, silver, province, pawn displays. Pawn draws copper. Red network drew gold. 2 coppers. How many coppers have I trashed? This is 3. Have I trashed 4? Gosh, I hate doing this. 1, 2. These were the sad ones. 3, 4. Okay, so there's not a copper. There's not a copper. There's province. Not gold. It's got to be like silvers. Maybe 2 province even. Yeah, I think it was 2 silver province. Well, it had to be. Just had to be. I'm gonna be so mad if like it comes into some weird, somebody gets double province off a turn where they... See, now this is super safe for me. This is unfortunately not super, super nice, but it's like nice enough. We look for gold. We look for the gold. We take the duchy though. Because then we have a bunch of money. Yeah. Early draws, I guess, but it was weird. I thought it was a little closer than this score is going to make it look, but I am getting first player. But they're just struggling to even get 8. Maybe the decks are a lot more different than I thought. Yeah, I guess so. I'm definitely cleaner. They still had an estate even. All right, well, 3-3. Weren't really any close. That close. I guess the ones I won were closer. Not the first one, but the second 2 were a little closer. Anyway, we take 3-3. Eureka and I are kind of at the top right now for this season, so right now, I guess Yurika's a half game ahead of me after 3 matches. So if it keeps going, maybe we'll face him in the finals, but still a lot of matches left. Things can go wrong. So in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.